Right then, ladies and gentlemen, taking this time off has really allowed me to spend a lot more effort and time on videos, so here we are, building the London Underground in Minecraft. Also, side note, I've got my taskbar in this video so you can see the amount of time this took. If you're unaware, the London Underground is London's main transport system, made up of 14 lines and around 300 stations. It's a very complex network of tunnels to make travel in London significantly faster. And this is what the map looks like. So yeah, this is what I'm building today, and I'll be including the Emirates cable cars, London Trams, Overground, and the weekend only district line. So I'll be starting with the Bakerloo line, which is one of the simplest underground lines there is, starting at Harrow and Wealdstone and terminating at Elephant and Castle. Very interesting names. Now originally I was planning on just doing lines 1 block wide, but the longer the Bakerloo line got, the more I wanted to do 3 blocks wide, to not make it look like a map of wires when it's done. And here we are, finished the Bakerloo line. If you think I'm labelling the stations, then please refrain from ever speaking ever again. I'm building the lines in the order that they appear on the map, meaning that the next line is central. We have already come across a challenge, just look at the size of this thing. The central line, you guessed it, goes to the centre of London, from West Rollslip to its termination at Epping. This line is truly enormous. Please keep in mind that there is no proper scale to this, so it's nothing technical, I'm just going by what looks right. So I started the central line 50 blocks to the left of the Bakerloo line. There isn't much footage of me actually building the lines, as it's quite a tedious process. 90% of it would be cut out anyway, but here I am, widening the line where it loops in the top right. And the central line is complete. It's so weird watching this back with only 2 lines. Just watching to the end, the final product is something else, it's something else. The third line we're building is the circle line, which also has a very creative name as it goes round in not quite a circle in central London from Edgware Road to Goldhawk Road. I decided that the easiest way to start on this line was to build where it intersects with the others, so the circle line passes through Bakerloo twice and Central 3 times, so that was a good place to start. I made the overlapping line 1 block wide, so it's like as clear as possible that they both go through the same point. Woo, circle line's complete, yeah! Whether they were in this order or not, I was going to do the district line next because it does follow circle line for the most part, and it's always good to start where 2 lines meet. Rather than doing 2 full 3 block lines right next to each other, I decided it would be more time and space efficient to just have a green slither through the middle of the circle line where they both run together. The district line is pretty much just as massive as Central, so it stretches right across the map with 3 terminations at Upminster, Wimbledon and Richmond. The district line is complete. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. Having it go through the circle line for that segment was really helpful. The 4th line was Hammersmith City, which is fairly short and also overlaps with the district, circle and Bakerloo lines. This line goes from Goldhawk Road to Barking, so this one took no time at all to build. Unfortunately, the Jubilee line is fairly large, going all the way from Stanmore to Stratford, so I just knew this one was going to take an age to build. This was the first time I had to deal with a 3-way intersection, and I think I did it quite nicely. The Metropolitan line is absolutely massive, and it has 5 terminations at Chesham, Amersham, Watford, Uxbridge and Aldgate. Despite its size, it only gets 10 seconds in this video, because that's the only footage I have of it. Can I just say how nice these intersections look? Like, look at that! Now, I'm doing this project to learn. I'm interested in the London Underground, and I think it's one of, if not the best transport systems in the world. Now, I just learned something. How fucking big is the Northern Line? Like, what the fuck? It's literally everywhere. I started back up by the Bakerloo line, since that was the only place I could really think of. I really had no idea how big it was. It has 4 terminations at Edgware, High Barnet, Battersea Power Station, and Morden. I hadn't built the Jubilee line correctly, so I had to make a minor adjustment so that the Northern Line could pass through at the correct point. I wasn't that annoyed though. It cost me 2 minutes where it would have cost TfL billions of pounds, so it could be worse. I have done the Northern Line to its Morden termination, now I just need to do the part that goes to Battersea. Finally, after half an hour of placing concrete, it is done. It is complete. I really cannot catch a break, can I? The Piccadilly line goes to fucking Heathrow Airport, what is that? It has 3 terminations at Uxbridge, Heathrow Terminal 5 and Cockfosters. LOL. Another minor error presented itself, but only took 30 seconds to fix, so it wasn't that bad. Piccadilly was meant to go through Central on a straight, not a bend. Currently finishing at Heathrow Terminal 5, finishing up this end of the Piccadilly line, and it is done! Victoria line was a blessing in comparison to the massive Northern and Piccadilly lines. This one was quite tame, to be honest. The Victoria line has terminations at Walthamstow Central and Brixton. I started on the Brixton end because that's a nice path through the Northern line. The Victoria line is complete. We really are getting through these, you know. 10 lines in under 5 minutes. Very, very impressive. Very impressive indeed. Waterloo City line is tiny, enough said. The DLR line is fucking immense, and the first line where I have to use 2 colours, this should be great fun. The DLR line is unique because it doesn't actually have drivers. The staff just wander about the train, and if something goes wrong, then they take over manually. This line is huge with 6 terminations at Stratford International, Woolwich Arsenal, Beckton, Tower Gateway, Lewisham and Monument. I've got 90% of the line done, just doing the finishing touches, and we are finished. It's just too easy. The next line is where I have to use 2 maps. This is the new Elizabeth line, which is set to open in summer. This brings a whole new meaning to the word huge. This line stretches 60 miles long, all the way from Reading to Shenfield, while also making a diversion to Heathrow Airport and Abbey Wood as well. It's the purple line on this map, and you can just see how fucking huge it is. I started by building the Reading to Heathrow segment before moving on to the segment that winds its way through central London. 25 minutes later, I made it to the Abbeywood termination, and we are done! Just look at this line, man, my god. Another thing I learnt today was how big the Thameslink line was. This one would take ages, I already knew it. The Thameslink line is the pink and white one on the map, and it goes for miles and miles. I took a little break from placing lines to placing thousands of blocks instead to make a white background. Thank God for the /fill command. Doing this was very worth it. The map looks 10 times better now. Alright, back to Thameslink. To be fair, building it wasn't actually that bad. It was just a pattern of the line that was a little bit time consuming. The segment that goes in the direction of St Albans is now complete, and with that we are done with Thameslink. Bye bye. At first I had no plans to do the London Overground on this map, but I was kind of enjoying this, so I did end up doing it in the end. It has a lot of terminations. If you're curious, then Google them, because I'm not saying all of them. I wish I actually recorded a bit more of it, because I've literally just finished it as we speak. The cable cars are on the map, which means I'm building them. The path it follows is tiny anyway, so that's that dumb. Now onto the weekend only district line, which is a similar sort of size to the cable car one, so that was done in a matter of moments. This line is used to spread out the huge numbers of people travelling on the weekends. The final thing to build are the lines for the London Trams. This is quite a long circuit, going from the district line termination at Wimbledon to terminating itself at New Addington, Elmer's End and Beckenham Junction, while also looping past West Croydon. After completing the trams, this is what the map looks like. I placed a block at the optimum viewing point of the map and decided to expand the white background so it fills the entire frame on the right. This area will be used for the key to the lines, also act a border around the whole thing as well. This is a section of the map that I intend on doing on that massive blank space that I just made. I'm doing the colours as 9x25 block oblongs with the text in big writing next to them so it's really easy to read. And this is the sort of look I'm going for. Obviously the oblongs will be filled in eventually. Use the fill command for the oblongs just to save me a little bit more time and not let me get bored. It's now the next day, and what a nice spawning this was. I'll show you the whole thing at the end. All that was left to do regarding the key was to write the names of the lines next to the colours. Not gonna lie, I was really proud of myself for this one. I wasn't really prepared for the text to look that nice. I was gonna call it there, but I thought it would be a good idea to add the River Thames. Began by adding the key for it before actually beginning to build the river. I made the Thames 5 blocks wide to make it noticeably distinguishable from the train line surrounding it. Also used the fill command again where I could save some precious moments. And with that, the Thames was done. I left a sign on the edge of the build to remind me where to teleport for the best view of it, and it looks fucking incredible. I honestly didn't think I'd get it done this quickly, but I'm really glad that I did. And if I want another project in the future, I can always just lay rails and make all the lines usable by minecart, so drop a like if you want to see that. Removing my upload schedule allows me to do more videos like this, and it also removes a lot of pressure from me as well, so it's a win-win. This video took a little bit of effort to make. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.